Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us on the Huddle. Paul is actually at FCICA right now with Jose, but he is on stage because converting time zones is extremely difficult sometimes, I think.
Yeah, that was a oopsie. We were today years old when we realized about the overlap. So
So I think
yeah,
what's
I just
going
figured out how to hook this up in I mean, it did take like 20 minutes, but once I got it, it's working.
we can hear you, so that's what counts right now.
Good. Bear with me while I pack up my bags so that way I can walk around.
You look like a little kid.
What's that?
So you look like a little kid. Some shorts on.
Yeah, they're riding high right now.
So we're going to be talking about some training entities. I think you're there with a few of the people that we're going to be talking to, right? So we got, hopefully we'll have on Dave Garden, Sonny Callahan. I don't know who else is there that we could possibly talk to, but there's, numerous other training entities out there that offer training. And I'm going to pull up Go Carerra's site so we can kind of see what the calendar looks like right now, just to get an idea of what's going on lately. So if you go to gocarerra.com, there's a tab that says education and training, and they have a calendar of events. So there's some CFI, some NWFA. So CFI is Certified Flooring Installers. NWFA is the National Wood Flooring Association. CTEF, the Certified Ceramic Tile Education Foundation.
Hey, we live, but it's about to go off
NAFCT, National Association of Floor Covering Technicians. And there's actually there's like a Bona class on here for a sand and finish school. It has all the pricing and stuff on here. Then you just click view details and it'll give you a rundown of the dates and stuff like that. So Go Carerra is trying to streamline everything so that way we can have everyone get trained and have access, right there. You don't have to go to numerous different sites. Everything is right there at your disposal and at one page.
Oh, you know what? I just realized I have a headset I can hook up to this that I got from my airlines.
Oh, from Delta.
Yeah, so that way I can hear you guys talk while I'm walking around because there is a lot of background noise. So I was listening, but I had to try to get somewhere quiet. So sorry if I'm making everyone busy, but they're getting ready to start another presentation, and it is going to be the presentation that Paul's in. And then we also got a couple other people in there that we know. Bob Wind is going to be one of the panelists from Welsh Tile out in Kent City, Michigan. Ben Leica from Lansing Tile and Mosaic is going to be out there. And this is kind of Mr. Sticha right there.
Don Sticha.
Yeah, and there's Paul getting ready to go up there on stage. We've been a little bit behind all day. Kind of the first opening, the keynote speaker and first opening presentations went a couple minutes beyond their time frame, which caused us to be behind. We haven't really had any breaks yet today either. So I think they gave us a 5 minute, and then we had a shotgun lunch.
You don't need breaks.
And I used my shotgun lunch to get this thing hooked up.
So have you talked to anyone else there? So you did say that Bob Wynn was there, and you said that he's with Welsh Tile, which is we actually work pretty closely with them and do a lot of their soft goods. But Dan Welsh is actually, he was the president of the NTCA, I believe, at one point. Or I don't know if he was the president, but he said that he was the first actual certified. He was CTI number 1, I believe.
Yeah, El Presidente. Remember that? Smart guy, man. Helped establish a good program, and that's what kind of separates the hard surface industry from the soft surface industry. Is they were able to create and implement their own training programs, and kind of make it universal across the board. And a lot of people adopted it. And I know that there's more than one, but getting a standard and getting everything in order is part of the battle. This is what they do when they tell people to sit down. They go, the song is called "Hurry Up and Find Your Damn Seat."
Oh, for real? We can't hear it. Yeah, that microphone is pretty good.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to block out some of the background noise and also trying to make it so that way everyone can hear me. So, and I am just kind of walking around slow and showing everybody what's going on here. There's Miss CJ Church right there. Get ready to close the doors, but I'll come and pop in. Oh, you were just on camera.
Oh, I was? Hi.
So we're live right now, by the way.
You should live stream some of this ball tile session.
We are. I am going to
All right, good.
I'm waiting for them to get started. You guys are running late.
I know. We tried to hurt it.
But I think the biggest thing about the CTI test and the actual tile side of everything is that I know like over here Dan Welsh used to be part of the union, so he kind of brought a lot of the way they structured the union over here, so that way like I know a lot of people, you know, there's not a lot of fans of the union, but the one thing that they do have that is amazing is their training. And it's, you know, we talked about this on a previous podcast where, you know, we talked to them and they say that, you know, they make their guys go to trainings, and it's not something that you have a choice to do. It's, you know, like I said, one of the unions we talked to, one Friday a month or something like that was dedicated towards training, but then the other one was like, we strictly do it on weekends. I think one of them said, I think, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it was one of them said that they take an entire week off, make them collect unemployment, and that entire week is nothing but training. But if you look at it, the union technically doesn't get paid for that training then, right? That's why they do it on a Saturday, or that's why they have them collect unemployment, because that's how serious they are. If you're going to be here, you're going to do training, and you're going to do it on basically your time. And it's just something
that's what they did, but it's a requirement, right? You know, and don't get me wrong, I'll never knock the union, right? Like, perception's been changed years ago, but it's part of the agreement is for them to continue their education, but the union has structured their education programs in a manner in which it accommodates their work schedule, right? Like, a lot of the problem with trade contractors or proprietors or a two-man crew, one-man crew is they can't ever really try to justify taking that time off of work to go get the training. And we were like that at some point as well. We could not justify it, right? Like, we're taking time off before time away from work. And when we didn't have work on the table, we were working to find our work. What everyone doesn't know who hasn't gone through any trainings or put themselves in that position is the networking abilities that you have to be part of organizations, to be part of training programs. So that way you can try to, I don't want to say avoid the slow times and avoid those dead times, but you create social capital, which helps you fill those times, right? The contacts that you make and the connections that you make through these programs actually help put more work on your table, and it's more of the work that you want, less of the work that you don't want. That is one of the benefits of getting training and certifications through your flooring network.
And so we've touched on the NTCA. I've never even seen what the NWFA is doing, but I mean, I hear great things. And then you also have Bona doing the sand and finish school. I mean, that's something that takes some knowledge about the products that you're working with, because what's going to be, what species are you staying in, what are you installing? It's like when you get down to the science of things, it's all something that's super important, because wood can fail super fast. I mean, any of the floors that you install can fail super fast, but you think of it, I mean, wood's just like a sponge, right? It's gonna absorb any moisture, and they get you off on the right path with their trainings.
Hey, so they did start the little education program in here, and it's a 1 hour long thing. And I know I'm going to go visit Mr. Sonny. Did you want me to pop in there and turn on the microphone and see if we can pick up some background noise and kind of listen into some of this education portion?
Yeah, we can see if we can listen to something. I mean, like it's about training and training entities, right? And FCICA is just kind of bringing everyone together, right? In the commercial flooring space, that's
Hey,
what
Mike.
they're there for.
I just missed an opportunity there with Mike out of Indiana. He's going to be one of the panelists with me tomorrow up on stage, and he started his own training program. Kind of walked away from installing and helping a couple of his friends seeing a need for just training, right? Like just to get people training. He understands that in order for a company to be successful, big or small, is they got to focus on training and educating current and potential installers before they hit the field. So that way they're not hitting the field with zero knowledge, they're hitting the field with a basic knowledge.
Right, which is kind of what the FCEF is doing. It's
yes.
You know, that a lot of people are like, well, how are they going to go and start installing their own jobs after this 5-week or 10-week class? And it's not about that. It's about getting them. I think one of the biggest things is, you know, just safety with the tools. When you have someone that's 100% green, you don't know everything that you have to do in order to stay safe on a job site. So, I mean,
Yeah.
just that aspect of things. If you are listening on Facebook right now, make sure that you put your email address, comment your email address, because we are going to be doing a drawing for this Apple Watch that I have here.
Boom, Apple Watch.
Brand new.
So what I'm going to do, you guys, is here in a second, I'm just going to go and invade this room that's in progress right now. And just so you guys know, I did sign up to be in this education program. But Paul and I kind of neglected the fact of time frame. So it's 1:15 over here in Arizona, and we usually do the podcast at 4:00 back home. He does it at 3. And this morning, over coffee, we just realized that we were not very smart about our time zone changes today. So we kind of did a little bit of scramble mode, but it's all right. So I'm going to turn on the other microphone and walk in. I'm going to turn. I should probably turn mine off. No, I'll leave mine on in case I got some time to.
There's a mute button on the side, and then if you turn the other one on, it actually has like a 600-foot range, so you don't have to be right up close to the stage, but you can go set it up close to them or something.
I don't know if I'm going to go do that with everybody in there. Hey guys, I'll just go set it there. But no, I can get close enough, and I can put the microphone on, face it that way. I'll turn off the static noise, so that way it gets everything in the room. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay. So
give people a taste of what actually goes on at these conventions and stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Probably plenty
100%.
of people that have never been to one, so if we can give them a little taste of what's going on, especially in an education session, because that's what this is about, is, you know, training and education.
So for me, I'm not going to be rude walking in there talking on the phone, because they are presenting. And
I will fill the air for a little bit while you're doing that.
Okay, I'm going to turn the volume down so I don't hear you guys. So you go ahead and comment, Daniel. And if you can't hear them, just let me know, and I'll try to turn the microphone static off so you guys can pick up the rest of the noise around me. So I'm going to turn the camera around as I walk in, and I'm going to turn my volume down.
All right.
And then everybody can listen in.
So we got some more people joining on social medias too. So if you are just coming in, this Apple Watch that we're giving away, just put your email address in here, and we're gonna do a drawing to see who's gonna win this. So we've got some emails and stuff coming in. Facebook. We've got people over here on Zoom that are giving their emails. So yeah, we got a good amount of people already. Jose's at the FCICA convention right now, walking into this educational event. We're just gonna kind of listen in to see what they're talking about. Paul's on stage right now. So get a taste of what goes on at these conventions and how much work actually goes into them. There's plenty of presentations.
Stick to just about anything. Okay. I mean, glass itself it'll stick to. So that's probably your best method to give yourself a good substrate to stick your tile to.
Point your camera up there.
Right.
Okay, perfect. Many of those primers, like the aggregate primer, is there made to stick to all kinds of non-porous as well as porous substrates, and it gives you also a mechanical bond.
So waterproofing. This is something again that we found a lot of times gets skipped because it may not be in your specification. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, based on what you guys are saying, large format tile, like for people or scopes that they want to go over old tile, is like not a good thing, right? Like never to do it anyway at all, but especially with large format tile because it's not worth enough to be able to fix it.
Well, you can do your aggregate primers again. We have seen going over glazed block, where it's an old school that has glazed block in bathrooms, and to go over that, I would prep the block correctly, like make sure it's good and clean. It's even good practice to sand it, and then you apply your primer. At least this is how we've approached it. Some of this stuff you're going to run across isn't always addressed in the TCNA handbook, but a lot of it is. But the aggregate primers being a little bit new, kind of wanted to just understand that it, just like Daniel said, they stick to just about anything. We've tested it on multiple different substrates, and it literally would stick to glass, and you could set a piece of tile on there and break the glass trying to take it off. So if you have like glazed block or an old mud set 4x4 or subway tile that you're going to go over, if it's a sound substrate, you can prime it with an aggregate primer and go over it.
So the bond of that, okay, thank you.
The key there is sound substrate, because you're only as good as what you're going over.
Indeed.
Yeah, and a lot of that will, subway tile or old 4¼ tile, 4x4 tile will be mud set, and if it's 40 years old, test, make sure that it's actually stuck. Any other? Okay, so
this is 101 wall tile, right?
yes,
So stupid questions are okay?
yes, sir.
What is an aggregate primer?
So I'll let Daniel tell you more about probably the chemistry of it, but there's pretty much all the manufacturers have one now, but it's a really for a stupid answer, a very sticky primer. It sticks to just about anything. The key is making sure that what your substrate is, if it's sound, is that it's clean. We'll often wipe it down with isopropyl alcohol before we apply that primer, but Daniel could probably give you a more sophisticated answer there on exactly what they.
Well, it's a blend of material that is able to create actually a chemical bond, where it's going to be able to bond to those substrates that aren't absorbent. They're not taking on any moisture, and it's not able to penetrate that. But also, they have an actual sand aggregate that is suspended in the material. And what that does is, while the primer can bond to that non-porous, it gives your next layer something to mechanically attach to it. You've got that texture there, so it's going to have resistance, not just on a single plane, but multiple planes because of the aggregate.
Is it rolled on? Is that how it's applied, or how do you?
Generally.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so waterproofing. A lot of times it's optional if you're in a facility that or in a room that doesn't take on direct water, but you also want to think of your adjacent spaces. And if you're on a elevated substrate, that's another thing you want to think about. So it's best practice to at least waterproof the floor and wall transition. And the floor, you don't necessarily have to waterproof the entire wall. You guys, what's your opinion on when to use and when not to use waterproofing? Say it's not the specification. So some of this stuff is the architects don't, guide us in the right direction. You got to use our experience on, the right way to do things.
Right, I guess
You're on.
for us, we use waterproofing in the wet areas, but directly right outside of that, it's still waterproof everything because nothing, drains are usually in the high point of the floor.
No.
Nothing's ever low. So, I mean, we, so that's kind of what we do. We over what, yes. Go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to 100% agree with Bob. We kind of do that the same way. We're in them immediate wet areas, we're floor to ceiling. But we get outside of those areas. Waterproofing is also crack isolation. So when we're flashing that up the wall, the height of the base, that's preventing that grout crack, that you always see. So we look at it as waterproofing, but it's also a crack isolation to help prevent that down the road.
Yeah, and it kind of prevents from the resulting damage. Even if it's not a wet area, if the toilet overflows in a toilet room, you're preventing that water from getting into your adjacent spaces. So the resulting damage from a problem that you may be brought into, if a toilet overflows and all of a sudden it goes into an adjacent space, it's best to at least get that junction between the floor and wall tile to be waterproofing, like just mentioned. It can also help with cracking. So about proper joint treatment on gypsum and concrete board. I'll bring up a problem real quick. So in our area, a lot of times the architects put that in the gypsum side, and they you literally have them put cement board up and then use drywall mud to patch the joints. So that's not the recommended way. It's not going to do anything for your wall tile. It's not crack at that spot. We've seen cracks all the way up and down a wall at a wall board joint because they weren't properly treated. So the proper treatment on concrete board is fiberglass mesh tape with inset. But on gypsum board, how do you guys handle that when they mudded this and you got 18 inches of drywall mud that neither your thin set nor your mastic's going to stick to properly?
Yeah, right. If you don't prime it, your thin set can soften that joint compound. Because it's where during the installation you think you're okay because part of the tile's bonded to wallboard and part of it's on the mud. But down the road, you run into a real problem. So you definitely want to use a primer for that. One other point I want to throw in there too. There we go.
You said primer.
Rollin said that you need to clip your nose hair.
So most all of your manufacturers, like for your thin set and all that, are going to have primers in their lines. And it's going to be better to stay with something like that than just a paint primer. Because the paint primer, there's so many varieties out there that can get you in trouble. The thing too I wanted to add on is whenever that scope of work for installing the concrete board goes to the drywall installers, one of the big challenges there is they just butt everything tight together. And the standards call for proper spacing. 8 inch, right? And if you're in corners, you're supposed to have a corner. So you just have to be careful of that because that cement board is going to expand and contract at a rate that's different than your tile. And if they butt them all together, that can cause cracking down the line. I've been on many projects where you walk in and you go, there's a seam, there's another 3 feet or 4 feet depending on the board, there's another seam. Because they did that and butted all the panels together.
Good point.
All right, I gotta give them all.
All right, so
Okay, so.
he's gonna walk out, and then I know that they.
Making
Can you hear
sure
us?
that the level of fun, we talked about this a little bit, in our pre-discussion of this, but, level of fun service required, rule is fall.
Okay, can you hear us now?
All right, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. So
Okay.
what was the actual discussion that's happening in there?
The discussion going on is about wall tile and prep. There's a lot of failures and what to look for, kind of the behind the scenes issues, waterproofing on the floor for hard surface, best practices. So that right there is essentially it's a best practices educational portion, right? So you get the panelists up there, and what they do is they feed off of each other. They talk about their best practices, what they do, and then they share other information, right? Because everyone needs a chance for success, and that's what that's about. So, so what they were talking about was going over gypsum and the thin set, basically softening up on the joints. Like you don't pay attention to it because it's out of sight, out of mind. But you're bonding really good to the gypsum, but you might not have great bonding to
on the mud,
the mud.
on the drywall mud
Right.
itself.
Yeah, so what they're trying to do is just say like, hey, prime the walls, do some kind of prep work on there, so that way you're ensuring a bond.
Right. I don't think I've ever been on a job
Now I
site where
gotta
they.
walk around and find out where the. Oh, you losing me?
We can hear you. You're just frozen.
I can't hear you. I think I'm in between.
You're in between the Wi-Fi points.
Yep, in between Wi-Fi points exactly.
No.
So now I'm gonna walk into where the vendors in here. They're all set up. I'm gonna turn the camera around. I can hear you now, so go ahead and
All right.
ask any questions.
So I don't think I've ever been on an actual job site where I didn't see the drywall at least prime, but it sounds like it happens more often than we actually think.
Yeah.
But those are the good discussions that happen at these events. So that way, I mean, could have been someone's first time there, and then they hear that and they're like, "Man, I've been installing on prime stuff this entire time. Had no idea."
Hey, look, there's
Hey.
somebody who actually.
There goes tall Daniel. Go check out that shirt that he has on.
Yeah, there goes Mr. McHale. Look at that guy. We're live right now.
You know, John McHale, the boss of CFI.
We can hear you if you want to say anything.
I heard these.
Let me turn this around.
Hey, how are you?
Good, John. How you doing?
Doing great. Getting ready, like a few more minutes, and our booths will start.
So the podcast today is about education. So Daniel, do you have any questions for him while he's here before they get started?
Yeah.
Right now,
so,
there's
first of all, Rollins says hi.
Rollins says hi.
Rollins
Tell him
says
hello.
hi. He's watching on Facebook right now, so you can tell him hi. And what do you guys have planned in the next couple of months as far as classes and stuff like that? You guys got a lot coming up. I know that you guys have your event calendar on your guys' website. Why don't you just plug what you guys got going on, give the website, that's the way people can find you.
So obviously, we got a lot of training going on right now. I mean, Jonathan's got a class right now with 11, I think it is, that are doing a 1 week. They're all first time into hardwood, laminate, and LVPs. So that's going on right now. We just finished up the week before, 2 weeks before, we had a 5-week training in Wichita, and we got, like you said, quite a few more coming up. Training's going good.
All right, and the website is cfiinstallers.org. And there's
Right.
a tab that says events, correct?
Correct. All right. You take care.
Thanks. Nice talking to you.
All right, nice talking to you.
Think
Hey, by the
Rob-
way, everybody else just kind of bombarding people. Like, here's a microphone.
Hey, that's
here's
what
a
it's
camera.
all about. I think one of the classes that LVP one that just finished was actually Rollin ran that one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. And look, and so this is like some of the connections that you make here. The FCICA is about making connections for the majority of it is going to be commercial based, right? But these are some of the affiliates who sponsors and,
So
and
if you
partner up.
yeah, you can pan around back over there to actually the Sun Belt,
Yeah.
because meeting them when we were at CFI convention last year, they actually stopped into our office not too long ago just to introduce themselves as the local guys to go to, and just made sure that we had everything we needed, basically. So just from
Yeah.
attending these events, they make sure that you're taken care of.
And sometimes it's about becoming a familiar face, just to increase that social network. You know who that is right there? That's your boy.
Oh, is that Efren?
That is effort, yes, sir.
I
And then
couldn't even
here's
see him. I can just tell by the way he walks.
here's where Go Carerra is, and catching a little bit of traction there. I talked to Paul today for a little bit, and he said getting more people to sign up every day, which is good.
Yeah, it's
That means that the word's getting out, and maybe it's the understanding of the purpose of it is what's getting out more than the word, right?
right,
Because
because they're not trying to sell anything. It's free for the installers. They're just trying to build that network. If you look at social networks and stuff like that, the power that social networking has right now, that's essentially what Go Carerra can be for the installer. And that's what we need to start realizing, is that we're not all competition. We're all in it together. So we need to start helping each other out. And if that's a platform to do it.
I'm going to interrupt these guys right here. They don't know it yet, but I'm going to interrupt them. I'm going to have Efren talk. So we're live right now, bro, on the Huddle. And I'm gonna give you a microphone. I'm gonna let Daniel ask you some questions. It's about education, bro.
All right.
Um,
How you doing, Daniel?
Good, Efren. How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good.
So
Hanging out right here with my buddy Manny.
What's up, Manny?
Manny, who are you with?
I'm with Love Avaco.
Okay. And then I guess the podcast today is the importance of education. What do you feel is important for installers, new or old, for them to know about education and what it can provide?
Number one is being open-minded so they can absorb the new information, because everything's being changing, from our adhesives, like what me and Manny are discussing, just the proper way to apply it. Bottom line, being open-minded to be able to absorb the new information we're providing.
Okay, well, essentially, it can save a business, it can save a family,
Definitely.
it can save someone's house, a car.
Yes.
It can just a little bit of time on educating yourself on the products and the changes, and even if you've been doing it for 20 years.
Yep.
Coming
within 1 hour's time.
Yeah.
We can help show you different tricks, techniques that sometimes nobody's thought of, and we're just like, okay, that's all we needed.
And if you've been in it for a long time, maybe you could come in and show some techniques.
Yeah.
You can give some information that is helpful to the whole industry, not just your little crew or yourself, but everybody else. Because that's how everybody got to the position they're at here anyway.
And I'm always open to anybody's tips, tricks, because if it's something that's usable, that we can, I'll enforce it and pass it on down.
And you never know. It might get published in a book. You never know what can happen.
Definitely.
So Efren, you're a pretty big part of CFI, right?
He said you're a bit. Here, you can take this.
Okay.
He's asked if you're a pretty big part of CFI.
Oh yeah, hands down. I've been with CFI since roughly '98.
Okay,
and doing nothing but training with them.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You were at one of the last trainings, right? And you are one of the very few bilingual trainers that they have. So can you kind of give some insight on that? Right now, I've talked to some of the other guys, but right now you're like one of the more senior bilingual trainers.
Yep. I think I'm basically, as far as I can remember, I'm the only bilingual trainer the CFI has. So anytime I'm needed, they call me up and I go wherever they want.
So we need to get some more bilingual people in there to help you out then.
Yeah. I'm always trying to push it. Right now, my son travels with me on some of these training seminars, and I'm always looking to help bring somebody else in. If they're willing to do it, hey, I'm willing to help bring them in.
So we got Eduardo Martinez over here saying that you're a role model, and you are, man. Like,
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
I've never heard anyone say anything bad about you. We love you in the industry. Jorge is over here speaking Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish, so he's just saying hello.
Hey, gracias, man. Hey, it's all love, man. Anytime I can help anybody, you guys got my contact information. Please don't hesitate to pass it on down, English, Spanish. If they're stuck on a job and having issues, use me as a resource.
Okay.
I can get the information or get them handled.
That's awesome. That's good to know, because we deal a lot with people that are English is their second language, and since we don't speak Spanish, it is that language barrier to where I can explain something so good, and if they don't understand it, it's useless, right?
It's lost in translation.
So we appreciate that, and we'll definitely use that resource when we need to.
The only thing I ask is generally call me around your lunchtime, because that should probably be my morning time. Because we got that time zone difference. So, yep.
It's killing me right now.
You feeling it? Yep. Yep. And I was just in Nashville last week, so I felt it coming back and forth.
No, man, we definitely appreciate what you do for the industry, and look forward to working with you even more. With
definitely anytime.
Maybe we should plan ahead, and I'll talk to Paul today. We should plan ahead and try to have him on a podcast and try to tackle some of the cultural differences and try to help everyone make some connections.
I mean, if you really think about it, what we should do is we should have just a 100% Spanish podcast with like him, Eduardo, Jorge, whoever else that speaks Spanish that wants to be on it. We're pretty much just there to record you guys and go live, but you guys just talk about whatever you want.
All right.
That's actually not a bad idea, Dan.
Let's sit down and we'll talk about it.
Right.
All right, guys?
All right.
All right, guys. Hey, nice seeing you again, brother. Take care.
You too. Take it easy.
He's got to go in his booth, start getting ready. He said he got poop first.
What time do the booths open over there?
So I believe they open at 2:00.
Okay.
And I'm walking around now because I'm looking for Mr. Divergent himself.
Mr. Beerface?
Yeah.
All right, so we got a few people that have joined on Facebook. If you are watching on Facebook and you haven't done so yet, definitely put your email address. If you're on the Zoom call, make sure you put your email address, because we're going to be giving away an Apple Watch. I think Ashlyn is putting everything together, and she's just going to do a quick drawing, and then it's yours. We appreciate everyone for joining, and this is our way of showing that appreciation.
Right here. I knew I'd make my rounds. Oh, is he watching live? He's watching live too. So, hey, what I'm gonna do is, Daniel, I'm gonna turn off my microphone. I'm gonna give Sonny his, and you can go ahead and talk with him for a little bit. We turn the camera around so that way you guys can check out his beard. So, actually, I'm gonna leave my microphone on, but I'm just gonna sit back a little bit.
Yeah.
So let me turn this.
Because you'll have questions too, so we can hear you, we just can't see you, which is totally fine, because Sonny is way better looking than you are, because he's got a beard.
So I'm gonna put the noise cancellation on low.
Yeah, so just hold this.
Yep, just hold that.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up, Sonny? How's it going?
It's good, man. How you doing? I was just sitting here watching it, and I heard him come in the door.
Did you hear when he said I'm about to go find Mr. Divergent himself?
I did. That's why I started yelling, and he found me.
So we're just talking about the training entities, and want to have you just give a little plug and kind of what you do and what's going on with you guys right now.
No, sure. Appreciate it, man. I'm always happy to talk about NAFCT. You know that. Never shy about it. But, as you know, we got the new resilient class that we just started. First one we did last month. Now we got another one scheduled for next month up at Ardex in Aliquippa. 2-day course, and then a subfloor substrate class to go with it.
And this one is special though, right? because this one is bilingual. This next one.
This one, we're going to have Daniel Ortiz from Capri Flooring, Lidditz Flooring, excuse me. He's going to be there to help with any translations that we may need, something that we haven't had in the past that we've really needed. So we're going to have him there. We're going to put together the curriculum so it'll be an all Spanish course.
That's awesome. We were just talking to Efren about how it's one of the, and you know, you and I have talked about this plenty of times before, how it's really lacking to have the trainers that you need in, you know, not even just Spanish, but any other language. It's difficult to find anyone. And it's a huge part of the industry that all the training entities are missing. So I'm glad to see you guys jumping on board right in there, man. I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah, it's needed because we see it. We see guys who are hesitant to come because they're not sure if they're going to get past that language barrier. So they miss the training. So we wanted to make sure we had something for them. So it's definitely needed. Absolutely. I've got a guy in California had to do his data sheets in Russian, Ukrainian, Korean, you know, just little things like that. He needed it in different languages so his installers could do it right. And it's, you know, it sounds like, oh, that's not a big deal, but we don't think about it as manufacturers that, you know what, we need to cover more than English.
Right. And I think, you know, in some of these trainings that I've been to, some of the trainers, you know, get down to the fact that something that you don't even think about is that some of these guys don't know how to read any language. So that's, you know, an issue as well. And he said that, you know, if you do fall into something like that, definitely approach the trainer and be like, hey, I can't read. He said, you know, I don't remember who it was, but they were like, we had to read every question, but we got through it.
Yeah, we've seen that. And it's a shame because obviously people don't want to say they can't do that, but we're not going to be judgmental. We want to help you, right? We'll help you do the curriculum. We'll help you learn how to read. I mean, that's part of your life. So I get it. It's some things we take for granted that, you know, not everybody can do.
So I want to talk a little bit about the substrate and subfloor class that you guys have, because when we went through that, it's probably the most mind-blowing presentation that I went through to see, because you guys have a team, right? And the entire team was at the one we went to, so we had multiple manufacturers all working together. You know, you got Ardex people mixing Mapei in a tech bucket, and it was pretty amazing. So can you talk a little bit about what you got going on with that?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I was just telling somebody that story at lunch, that we knew we had something special. Paul and I looked at each other when Sam Biondo was talking, and from Mapei, and then Seth Pavarnik and Daniel from Ardex were mixing, you know, tech self-leveler and poured it out on the floor. We knew we had something, right? Because when we're doing these events and we're putting this training together, we don't have our salespeople hat on. We have our training hat on, and it says all of our names, right? So we're really excited about that. We obviously that's our flagship class, but we certainly love that certification. If you think about who makes self-levelers in this industry, the Mapeis, the Ardexes, Sherdots, Lady Crete, I'm missing somebody, Tech. They were, all their technical people were on this committee when we put it together, right? So it's in depth and it's very thorough. And we always get people who go through the course and they're like, I didn't realize I didn't know what I didn't know. Right. And it's, you go through a course and you learn one thing, you know, maybe you review for part of it, but if you learn one thing when you're in that class, it's worth it. Right.
Yeah. I mean,
it's always something.
We had, just like we had the Nora rep in here last week or the week before, and he was talking about, you know, something that he had, and he was like, I sent you the new information. I said, I know, I did, I got it and I read it, but that was, you know, like a year ago. So, yeah. I mean, things slip your mind sometimes, right? And you're like, you know what? I do remember reading that now, but without the constant reminder, it just, you know, you don't remember everything. But I think,
yeah, not to mention things are going to change in a year. Technology's. You're not driving the same car you drove 30 years ago. So why would you do the same thing you did working 30 years ago, right? Things are going to change and evolve. And, you've got to stay in touch with what's going on because and look at moisture. I mean, moisture is a big deal. You used to 3 pounds, 75%. That was the standard. You know, now we have adhesives that go to 99%, underlayments that go to unlimited moisture, things like that. So things are always changing. So you got to stay in touch.
I do love that comparison about the food.
Yeah.
Because you're absolutely right. Everything evolves.
Right.
And it has to evolve in order for everything to remain successful.
Yep.
When concrete evolves, adhesive have to evolve. It's just
that's right.
It's the way it goes.
Constantly changing. The only thing consistent is change, right?
Right. And I think when we were at that event, Seth Pavarnik, I asked him, I said, how do you feel about, all you guys being in the same room? And he was like, I love it, man. There's nothing better to show the industry than what they call is competitors going against or coming together and showing people what's going on. He said, because they don't look at each other as competitors. They're all in there for the same thing, and that's to put something on the floor that's not going to fail, and the only way to do that is to educate people on how to do it the correct way.
Right. Yeah, show them, there are shortcuts, but you got to know which ones you can take and ones you can't. But that was the biggest thing when we started putting NAFCT together. We went to all these companies, but we didn't go to their sales team. We didn't go to their executive team. We went to their technical department and said, look, this is what we want to do. This is how we're trying to change the industry. What kind of input do you have? And instantly everyone was on board, right? They wanted to come and put it together. And, it took us probably a year to put that class together, even with the people that we had doing it, because we wanted to be so thorough. But, we can all sit in a room and that day we're wearing an NAFCT hat. We're not wearing, our company's hat.
Right. And I mean, I think I need a new NAFCT hat, to be honest with you. I think he brought some from, where were you guys? This is just that. Oh, when you guys were in Georgia.
Oh, okay.
So I think he brought a new one. I'm going to have to steal it.
Yeah. We gave all the rest of our hats away there. All the NAFCT hats. We need to get some more.
So I better hang on to this one then, for real.
Yeah. Guy just kicked my drink over. Live.
And then, so other than NAFCT, you are the Divergent himself. So you want to talk about your adhesives and what you got going on with that, so that way people know that you got some good stuff?
Yeah. I mean, we're here at FCICA, here with Jose.
You can turn the camera around and show them your sign.
Yeah, all right, switching it around. That's actually our booth right there. We try to stay involved with all the industry groups that we can and talk about adhesives, talk about the best practices you can have and how to use it. And, for us, it's not really a sell thing. We tell people, we find out what their problem is. We tell them what we have to fix their problem and do it that way. Solution-based selling, whatever you want to call it. But, I don't sell buckets of glue. I just talk to people about adhesive, and if it works for them. So I'm not a big salesman for Divergent. I'm an NAFC salesman.
The adhesive sells itself, right?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I tell my customers, if I'm in here every month talking to you about glue, I'm not doing my job. It's like the old infomercial. You need to set it and forget it. Get the product you need, put it in there, and just keep using it, not ever have to worry about it. Because if you're thinking about glue on a job, we're not doing something right. You're not using the right one. So, what I tell folks too is, when you're bidding a job or you're trying to get something done, just getting glue for a job that you're doing, don't make a decision based on economics when it needs to be based on performance. So always make sure you're getting the right stuff.
Right, and I've reached out to you before with some adhesive questions, and you're always, willing to answer calls. And we talked to Efren, and he said anytime you got a question, reach out. And I think that's the biggest thing about the industry is, once you start going to some of these networking events, everyone, ourselves included, is, welcomes you with open arms. And they're like, anything you need, just let me know. Like, if I don't know it, I probably know someone that does.
Yep. And if you don't know the answer, say you don't know it and find out.
Right.
Find out for them. That's actually a topic of a speech I'm giving tomorrow. It's okay to say you don't know. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, when you talk about different industries for all different types of tradesmen, there's nothing really like the flooring industry, because you can ask anybody questions that you're not going to be judged on it, right? If you don't know the answer, there's, especially at a group like FCICA, there's 30 people here who can answer the question, right? This is the people that I call when I have questions.
Right.
So you always got to yourself with people who know more than you, which is easy for me.
So, sometimes, like, there was one time where I did call Don Styka, and his answer to my question was, I know you already know this, and I believe that you do, so I don't even know why you're calling me. But it's like, I just gotta make sure, man. Like, something, like you said, things change. Something could have changed, and then I don't know the answer anymore.
Yep.
Once you doubt it, once you doubt that you know the answer, it does not hurt to double check. It does not hurt to reach out to anybody.
Yep. No, for sure. That's the important thing. You know, be it NAFCT, CFI, FCICA, it's having that network of people that you can call. I mean, their trading's great. Don't get me wrong. Ours is great. Theirs is great. But it's the relationships that you make with these technical departments and even salespeople that you know you can call them directly when you have something going on. That's the intangible value of being in one of these groups, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Gardner,
all right. Okay, that means I need to sign off, my friend.
Hey, Sonny, thanks for your time today. I look forward to seeing you again soon.
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. See you later, guys.
See ya.
You got to get ready anyway, so the crowd's getting ready to come in.
I got to go get me a drink.
I do want to introduce everybody to someone who was kind enough to give us a prototype before their invention hit the market. So I'm going to let him introduce himself and kind of just turn the camera on and show you guys what he has. So just let everybody know who you are, who you're with, and what you got here, because you kind of changed the game for us very quickly.
My name's Adam Baker, Tanks to the Concept, and we offer several products, but our newest is going to be the Make It Match system.
Yeah. So here,
tell him to put the microphone closer to his mouth.
You can put the microphone a little closer to him.
Okay. You've got the toolkit that comes with your plank scanner. This attaches to a drill. Then you've got your double head roller. Nice and convenient to keep in one hand with two tools. You got a smoother right here, and it all comes in this little zipper bag, canvas bag. With that, you're going to use your plank skinner to strip the wear layer off of luxury vinyl planks.
Yep. You guys can kind of see what he's doing right here on Home Installer Magazine. Where can they check out one of the videos and find your product?
Yeah, they can go to makeitmatch.com, and from there they can click on the techniques section, and you'll find all of our videos to show you how to do just about anything.
Yeah. And I'm telling you what, guys, like
these right here
this right here is just a general basic transition, and they skinned this material off of the plank. So it doesn't matter if you have a matching transition or not, you can skin the material. And if anybody who's done it by hand before knows how hard it is, but man, you know what? That tool.
We've definitely used that and just had something that was sitting on the shelf and was like, sounds like we're making our own today.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It's great. And sorry to the people at VersaTrim or anybody else who makes custom orders like that. But man, I just wanted to get everybody to meet this gentleman, and he helped us out almost a year ago today, and his product hit the market, and it's fantastic. So thanks, Adam. I appreciate it, bro. So makeitmatch.com, right?
Yeah, makeitmatch.com with the hyphen a little bit down.
All right, so I'm gonna go find Mr. Garden before we run out of time, guys.
Yep, we got about 7 minutes to go before we hit the hour.
So what are you doing with that watch right now? Like, what's everybody's entering their names?
We've got quite a bit of emails in here. I just got with Ashlyn. She's putting everything together, and once I give her the okay, she is gonna draw a name and email, and we'll email you.
And this guy's done talking now. Look at that. Mr. Popular on stage.
We'll email you and just exchange some information, and then I'll send it out.
So we got to give him a little bit. I think he said, oh, he's probably all the way over there. Yeah, I kind of feel bad that I didn't get to sit through that whole presentation because a few of our friends were there presenting, and I'd like to show support. All right. So here's Mr. Garden right here. He's in a conversation right now, and I'm going to interrupt him.
Okay.
That's Mr. Jeffrey Johnson with my pay. You guys met John. So what I'm going to do, Daniel, is the same thing. Is I'm going to turn the camera around.
Yeah. I can.
And
Just hand it over to him.
Yep.
Make sure that when you hand him the microphone, you give him the correct side. I think the last guy, he had the microphone pointed towards his hand and not his mouth.
When you said put it by his mouth, he had his finger over the receiving portion. So
It looks like we do have some more people on Facebook that might not have been here, so we are giving away an Apple Watch within the next 10 minutes. So you got a couple
here's
more
Mr.
minutes to
Gardner
put
again.
your email in here.
So, Mr. Gardner, microphone portion's right there. Just hold it up to you so you can talk into it or put it on your lapel area. And then you are actually going to close us out. So I'm going to hand you the phone. And hand you the phone, sir. And then Daniel's going to ask you some questions. He's kind of hard to hear right now because I have to use the speaker on the phone.
All right, Daniel, what's up?
What's up, Mr. Garden? How you doing today?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's getting loud in here. It's I have your brother's playing with a shirt right now. What he doesn't realize is since the airline lost my luggage,
You've been wearing that shirt for 3 days?
The shirt's stiffer than it should be, man. No starch needed.
So we're talking about training entities and just what you guys are offering. We talked to John a little bit already about kind of the schedule that's going on. But I think one of the biggest things that you guys have going on right now is the train the trainers, right? In order to get more people in the industry trained, we need those people to train them. And
well, that's just the thing, you know. We started getting these trainings popping up, and they're now we're doing multiple in a week, right? We can only stress guys like, I mean, we got Rollin, but poor Rollin. We're sending that guy everywhere, and you can tell he doesn't enjoy that at all. He doesn't enjoy the limelight. He doesn't
not
enjoy being in front of people at all, and it's tough on him. No, but seriously, we have all this opportunity to train right now, and we're looking at this and see, you know, most of our trainers have gone to work for manufacturers or aged out, and so it's not that the pool is too small, but yes, it's too small. In other words, it's not too small for what we're doing in 2019 or 2020, prior to COVID is what I'll say. I guess 2018 or 19. But for the market we have right now, it is too small. And the tough part about this, Daniel, is we're looking for the right guys. But we're so darn busy doing training, it's tough to train them. You know, it sounds like. It sounds tough, but you can't just throw somebody out there and say, "Hey, look, you're a trainer now. We know you can make a scene. We know you know what how to run a trowel. We know you know how to mix floor prep. So in that case, you're a trainer. But it's not that simple. It's really not that simple. So we really want guys. I'm talking about that gift. Guys that aren't afraid to talk. But guys that aren't afraid to talk and fit inside a system of a curriculum that's been written by people that are, let's face it, smarter than me. Right? So you think about this. So all that curriculum that I teach, you look at John Namba, Bob Gillespie, and Eddie Braille, and those guys. I mean, Jim Walker, of course. I don't know why I not say Jim Walker, but those guys. They wrote solid stuff. It maybe needs updating, right? We all need updates. But the class structure that they put together is there for a reason. And I had Jerry Miller teaching the True Cut method step at our last trainer. And it's amazing. It's amazing when you get to stuff like that the guys, they know how to put the step on. Right, but then demonstrating it's something completely different.
Well, when you're working on the job site, you're just working, right? You're working. You're in there to you're get in, get out. You're trying to get paid, and when you're teaching someone, you have to teach it and explain it way slower. And like you said, when we went through the trainer, it's like all this stuff, you know, you can learn it in 20 minutes, but it's going to take like 2 days. Because you need to realize, one, that you got to explain it to people that may not know, you know, exactly what they're doing, because we've all been in classes where someone that doesn't, you know, they're pretty new to that technique. And then number two is you got to make sure that you can actually talk in front of a crowd and be engaging and have people want to listen to you.
Well, you have to think about it. In the class that we did together, the one that your brother and sister were in, we had a debate about wall trimmers, right? To the point where we were doing what? I think it was you pulled the directions down on how to use a wall trimmer.
I pulled them up online.
But the thing about it is, you can do it so many different ways on your job site. But if you're going to train it, you have to train it to the manufacturer's specifications. And that's tough for some guys, because most of us taught ourselves, right? And don't get me wrong, we love that. We love that. We love guys that take the initiative to learn things. But when we start teaching them that product or that, we have to follow what the manufacturer tells us that they want us to. They want us to present their tool, right? And these manufacturers have gifted us with some of their tools. You look at what Roberts and Trax have done for us over the years. My goodness, we can only thank them for their tools. So if we show them incorrectly, we're not thanking them. We're actually hurting their tool, and that doesn't do anybody any good.
Right, and that's the thing. It's not just one tool. Like you're not going to say this is the tool that you have to use. It's you bring a bunch out, and it's like these are the tools that we use. Use the one that you like. Use the one that you're used to. It's not a one tool fits all type of scenario.
Well, yeah, especially like with the carpet. With the carpet, we stress if you got your iron and that's what you use, I'm testing you. Right? I'm testing you. Make sure if you like your iron, go grab your iron from the van. I want to show you what the Cool Glide does. I want to show you what a 3-inch iron is supposed to do. I want to show all that to you, and I'll show you the proper way of using the tools. But when you're instructing, you really need to stress to somebody else. You're not the judge and jury. You know, you're there to inspire them to create something, right? You want them leaving the class. You want them leaving that class so that they're pumped up about the lessons they've learned. Which you don't want to do. You don't want them to feel like they've gotten beaten down because their way wasn't the right way. And so you really have to work with the guys. And I got to tell you, one of the things I look for, and I wanted to, I didn't do this in our class. I wanted to hand everybody a clipboard, and I wanted to see who lost them. And the reason for that is because if you're training, well, think about this. If you're training somebody, and you're standing there with a clipboard in your hand, you're probably the wrong guy to be doing a training, because what you're doing, you're grading them, not really training them. And I like to sit, so I like the guy that can't find his clipboard, you know, because he's down on his hands and knees working, right? And that's guys, you'd love to see that. You love to see guys actually get right down next to somebody, and you got your guys just.
And if you know anyone is listening that is interested in training, definitely reach out to you, because you guys are probably going to have plenty more of these, right, coming up. And I think one of the best things about the Train the Trainer when we were there is that you're working with other guys that already know what they're doing and might not just have that outgoing personality and, you know, get along with everyone and stuff like that. But you have the ability to ask those questions that you know are going to get asked in the class, just so they can kind of be prepared once they do get into that situation.
Oh yeah, there's always that EGR in the room, right? EGR guys is extra grace required. There's always that EGR. I remember when I was a student, that was me. So you know, it wasn't until somebody humbled me that I actually started learning. Thank goodness there were people around to do that.
So Rollin is jumping off right now. He said, "Tell Shorty Dave to have fun."
Yeah, you can tell Rollin I always do have fun, mostly at his expense. But So do you need anything else from me?
No, we appreciate it. We already gave the website earlier, but it is cfiinstallers.org. Go on there, see what events are going on, and we'd love to have you guys be part of CFI.
One more, if you want to become a trainer, email education@cfiinstallers.org. All right, education@cfiinstallers.org.
Get on that
I
list,
handed
right?
out my cell phone number for that, but somebody who I kept calling it is new.
Well, Dave, appreciate your time today, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you. Good to hand you back here.
All right, I think we're
we
about ready
went over that time a little bit.
We're about ready to bring Ashlyn on and give this watch away.
All right. Got quite a few names in here, so we'll see.
Drum roll.
I know.
That's probably a horrible drum roll. Probably sound like dying Chewbacca.
Jeremy Glover.
Jeremy Glover. I don't even have to ship it. He can come pick it up.
Fixed.
Hey, congratulations, Jeremy.
That's what he would say. If he didn't win, he would say it was fixed.
Yeah.
I hate it here.
The last one that we gave away the FCICA, the sim, and he was kind of butthurt that he didn't win, and that's what he said. It's rigged. It was rigged against me.
Well, now he doesn't get to say that, I guess.
Hey, we know that it wasn't us that drew.
Yeah, I didn't even know he worked there.
You don't even know who Jeremy Glover is, so.
Exactly.
Look, now Eduardo says it was rigged.
Hey, you guys, thanks for bearing with me because I learned how to use these microphones like 1 minute before we went live. Actually, we were going live, and that's my fault.
And
so
I ordered a couple of those microphones. Hey, there goes Kathy.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing today?
Awesome.
Having fun? Learning?
I am.
All right. Make sure you teach this guy next to you something before he leaves.
That's what I'm doing. I'm here to learn. So.
I'll be teaching him. Don't worry. I got you covered, buddy.
All right.
Have fun.
Thanks. Well,
so congratulations, Jeremy, on winning, and thanks everybody. But I should probably go because I got some people to talk to, and I got to do some learning while I'm here.
And then we also have to thank Ashlyn for actually coming on camera.
She came on camera.
She hates coming on camera.
You guys are so welcome.
That's awesome.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you follow us on social media. Ask us any questions that you want. Definitely hit us up with any questions. And, the Go Carerra YouTube page, you can watch these videos. And then we're also on, any of the podcast platforms. So make sure that you, if you didn't listen to the whole thing and you want to, there's plenty of ways to listen. So tell someone, and I'm sure that there'll be plenty more giveaways in the future. And Ashlyn will come on camera again for those.
I will. I'll be
all right. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.